Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. If the content's helping you out, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Really appreciate the comments. They've been absolutely humbling. I can't tell you, thank you so much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to just do a liner. There was a comment asking about a liner for a future video. I did one, but it was a solid piece with holes. This one, we're just going to do it a little bit differently. And let's get going on it. So let's just grab a tool, go to Tools, Ring Rail, and we'll hit Enter, and we'll just grab an outside ring rail as well. And we'll just go ahead and change this for sake of fun. I will grab this one here, double click on it and get rid of that. And we'll drag it up, holding down shift to around a 5. And of course, I like the 2.5 millimeter shanks, just lasts longer, right? And what we'll do is we'll go in here and we will go to our curves and we will adjust this seam here before we do anything else. Hold down shift, drag it down to the bottom, hit enter, right? And we'll take that, keep everything organized, change it back to our finger rail, right? Then we'll select that finger rail there and we'll go to our tools and our profile placer there. And we will go ahead right away and just snap it to our outside and we will change that profile. Now, if you do a rounded edge, you'll have to do a little bit of extra work, and I'll explain that as we go forward. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is kind of keep it easy for this video, and we're just going to do a kind of a where it goes to a point on the end. So I'll double click on that one. And we will go ahead and bring this in just a little to around a 3. 3, and then we'll also add another one holding down shift at the top, and we'll take this one and make it to a holding down shift to a 6, so double the bottom, right? And then we'll hit enter. And from here what we'll do is go and get our surface. So surface 2, these two rails here, this profile, and we'll hit enter, and we'll go ahead and just close that off in our dynamic commands over here, closed, right? And it'll give us our surface, and we'll take a look at it here real quick. See, make sure it's okay, what we want, and we'll just hit enter. Okay, now this next part, in case you didn't know, we're not going to do it this way, but in case you didn't know, you can go to your surface, grab a planar curve, and we'll switch this to a cutting layer, and we'll just kind of draw it out. And you can go to solids and do a Bullion difference with this surface here, and enter, and it will actually do a Bullion difference for you. That is too cool, right? Just so you know, it's available, but we're going to back out of that. We want to keep that bottom half, so we'll just go back. Now we're back to our solid closed poly surface. Right. All right. Watertight, right? Now we'll just take this poly surface and we will split it with our planar curve, right? And enter, we'll delete that. We'll select our bottom half and we'll just hide it. And now I'm going to grab all my yellow since we're here, turn it to gray. We definitely want to keep those in case you ever want to make any kind of alterations. But after we do this next command, it probably won't matter. So we're going to go in here and we're going to do a cap and hit enter, so we cap those off. And from here, like I said, if there's rounded or if it's one surface, you'll have to, this is a poly surface, right? So it's made up of multiple surfaces. There's a knot right there, it looks like. This will be really next step will be really easy. But if it's not, what you have to do is you'll have to do the cutout with the object, and I think I have a video on that, how to do a hollow ring or something like that, so you can check that video out. Yeah, so it's a little bit different, right? But with this way, with it being a point object there, right? What I can do is I can just go to my shell command right here in my solids and select that, and then select the faces to remove, and I can go from here, 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 and here, and then I have it set at a thickness of 0.6, and then hit enter, and it does a 0.6 all the way through. So now everything, this section here is a 0.6, these are 0.6, and my thickness at the top there is a 0.6. So it just cuts it all out really nice and neat for you, right? Which is pretty cool, very quick, right? And now what we want to do, we want to go to our curves, and I'm going to go all the way down here to from object, and I'm going to grab my duplicate edge. But before I do that, yeah, I'll grab my duplicate edge, and then I'll change it to yellow here, and then I will select this one, not that one. Back out of that. I want this edge right here, those two, and I want the two right here, and then I'm going to hit enter right away and then join those together. So now they're one curve, right? I don't have to go back and reselect them later. So now I'm going to come down here on my command line, right click, and I can do that dupe edge command again. I'm going to select this curve here and this one here, and then come over to my other side, select that one and that one. So now those are one curve. Hit enter and then join those together right away, and make sure that they're joined. Oh, they're not. Oh, hit enter. Join curves. This one, this one, this one, and then hit enter. Check them out. Yeah, okay. Oh, they're all joined together now. What's up with that? They're grouped or something, so I'm going to ungroup them. But now I probably have them individual. Oh, no, they're good. That one's one. Nope, they're still joined together somehow. All right, let's explode them. Don't know why that happened. We'll grab this one, hold down shift, grab this one here, join it together. Yeah, we're good to go on that one. Grab that one, hold down shift, grab that one, and we will join those together. Yeah, okay, we should be okay. Now we need to get a surface in there, right? So we'll go back to our surface. We'll do a sweep 2 from this ring rail here, this ring rail here, that profile there, and the one over here, and hit enter. And oh, something went crazy there. Okay, all right. So let's back out of that. Let's get rid of this here and get rid of this here. I don't know where that came from. We'll go back, right click in here and go back to our dupe border. And we're still on yellow, so we're good to go. Dupe edge, sorry. Dupe edge. Right here, right here, right here, right here, hit enter and join. Yay, okay. I don't know what happened there. I did something crazy, huh? Maybe you can tell me what I did. I must have spaced it out. So let's go ahead and do that sweep now. We're going to select this curve here, this curve here, this curve, and then this curve over here, and hit enter. And we're going to maintain height, and we're going to get rid of everything else. All right, and we'll just go ahead and hit enter. So we accept that service. We'll change it to a different layer here, so it's that layer. All right, and we have that. So at this point, it's real easy. Just go ahead and go grab your transform there, grab your auto base, grab your surface, go ahead and hit enter. I'm going to grab my auto base and put it in the center. It's not something that you have to do. Hit enter and it'll put it in the center, and I'm going to drag it out. Like, again, it's not something you have to do. It's just what I do. I'm going to change this to a ground plane. And then I'm going to take that, go to my curves, go all the way back down to that from object, select in there, and duplicate border. I'm going to duplicate the border, but I am going to switch to a red layer here and then hit enter. So I have a red border going around, right? I don't want that. There's that, and I'll get rid of one of those. Don't need both of them. My border going around in red, right? Okay, so I have that out there. Now we'll go ahead and just do a jolly on this surface here, and we'll choose a pattern. We'll do a honeycomb style here, and double click that. And that's a little too tight for my liking. We're going to loosen it up a little bit. So just scale it up however you want it. But we'll just go ahead and take this, and we'll go ahead and hit enter here, right? And we'll select our jolly. Select our jolly there. And we will go to solids, and we'll just pipe it. Give it a few seconds, and it'll lay it all out there, and we'll just go ahead and hit enter. All right, so there's our poly, or our liner. Now the liner is usually cast separate or made separately. A lot of people will just put roll down a sheet and then do cutout for the liner. But if you're going to do a liner, you probably don't want to have it attached to the item when you cast it, just because you're not going to be able to get up in there and polish all that nice and highlighted up in there, unless that's the kind of look you're going for. But usually high fashion designer jewelry will have that all nice polished up in there, and this will be polished on both sides, and then the jeweler will go in and tack it with either a laser or solder all the little joints together. But that's, I guess, personal preference, up to you. So let's go to transform. Let's go to Smart Flow. Let's select our base surface there, and then our destination surface. Rhino says if you pick it in the, this corner, the bottom left, you want to pick in the bottom left of that corner. But I don't know if Matrix has that kind of deal. It doesn't really matter. I'm not sure. I just kind of gone with that habit. That's kind of what I was taught when I first started doing Matrix. And my arrow here is going up, my arrow here is going down, so we'll have to do some manipulation there. I'm just going to go ahead and actually, since I know the arrow direction before I throw it up there, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this here, and I am going to go to my right view, and hopefully this will work real easy. And I'm just going to drag that down just a smidge in there, so we have it like that. But if you look at it, it's just a little bit above my C-plane there, or the plane, right? Just a little bit, but because I do want to make it flat eventually, I don't want it round. I guess the new trend now is to have stuff sticking out, like maybe a name, or married, or taken, or I love you, where it kind of protrudes a little bit, so that when the person wears the ring for a while, it's kind of indented onto their finger. That's kind of what I read, and I don't know if it's true or not. I have seen some items like that though. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and we're going to select this red, right? And it's closed curve, closed planar curve. So we're going to grab our gumball, and we're just going to drag it up, click off of it, click back on, and we're going to drag it down. And then we're going to type in on the command line CAP and enter. So now we have a solid surface there. Now we want to cut off all this, because a lot of times these are the things that when you go to flow things, they're like shooting way off the items. So, those we want to get rid of. So we're going to go to our solids, and we're going to do a Bullion intersection. And our first surface will be our Jali pattern there. And then we'll hit enter. And then our second surface will be the block cutter, right? And we'll hit enter. And this will take a little bit of time. When you do the piping like this, it takes a lot more time than if you draw it out and it's all joined together, and longer surfaces. The piping, there's just so many little pieces of piping that it's got to cut and do all the math on, that it takes a little bit longer to do all that stuff. So we'll just kind of hang, I guess. Oh, if you haven't told me where you're from in the world, please, leave a comment. Let me know where you're from. I usually spend most of my time between the United States and Japan, but most of it's probably spent in Japan. Um, but I do get back to the United States every once in a while. Uh, but most of the time's here in Japan. In Japan, I spent 6 years traveling all over this country, doing special events, demonstrations, and shows. So I've been everywhere from Okinawa all the way up to Hokkaido and everything in between. So Kyushu, Shikoku, Honshu. So all the, Nagasaki's a really, oh, it's absolutely beautiful place. The mountains and everything. Okay, finally, there we go. Okay, so there's that. And we're going to go ahead and hit enter, accept that, give it a second, and then we're going to pick our cutter there and delete it. Now we want to get rid of this extra surface here, right? So we're just going to delete that surface there. We just want to keep our cutout, our Bullion union surface, or Bullion intersection, sorry. Now we're going to go back to our transform. We're going to go to Smart Flow. And we're going to just grab this surface here, our base surface, and we're going to grab our destination surface. And Rhino says to pick it in around the same area, but I think we already talked about that, but I don't think MatrixGold does. So our arrow's going up, arrow's going down. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and select objects to flow. That'll be this box here. We don't want it rigid. We want it flowed very smoothly. So objects to flow will be our little pattern there. And then we're going to hit enter, and we'll have a little conversation right now while that's loading that up. Yeah, seen any good movies lately? I'd like to know, especially if you're from the United States. I miss out on a lot of that cultural stuff, not being able to watch movies, although I do have iTunes and try to keep up on some of it. A big Marvel fan, Marvel Universe, DC, like those kind of things. All right, so we have this out here now. And again, like I said, I wanted it protruded out just a little bit because we want to go ahead and cut that out, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter and wait for that to update here. It shouldn't take that long. Yeah, so if you've seen any good movies, please drop those in the comment as well, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take this now, and I am going to change it to my peach here and just go ahead and hide it so it's all in one layer. I know where it's at. All right, so we have that cut out. Now, probably the last thing I want to do, well, one of the last things I should say, is I'm going to type in a wire cut, a W-I-R-E-C-U. Well, actually, let's not do a wire cut. Let's just go ahead and extrude this out. I can just extrude it out. I can snap it back on, and we want to drag it back, and then I'm going to go ahead, CAP, enter, and I'm going to hide this surface here real quick because we don't need that. And I'm going to just do a Bullion difference. Maybe this will be faster. Bullion difference, that'll be our green here, enter, and then our red here, and enter. And give that a second to cut it out. The wire cut might have been just as quick. But you could have done a wire cut, extrude your, well, if you type in wire cut here, you'd select your ring rail, right? And then you would hit enter, select your items, then hit enter, drag your ring rail out, just like we did with this. And then hit enter, and it'll go ahead and cut all those pieces out as well. But you'll have to delete them as well, too. So, yeah, but that's a lot to cut out, right? Yeah, there we go. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. And it'll give me my mesh here in a second. All right. We'll get flowing it all up there. And we are looking at our cutter right in the face. There we go. And it did our cutout for us, right? So we should be able to bring back this and go ahead and hide this. And we have our cutout in there. right? So it's all cut out in nice little honeycomb area, and it's all nice and tight in there. And now the last thing we need to do is go ahead maybe and grab that yellow, turn it to gray, get rid of it. Go ahead and grab this section here and hide it one more time. And we need to, I'm going to hold down Shift and Control and grab that surface, and I am going to delete them because we don't need them. And I'm going to grab it, bring back my bottom half because it's hollow. It's an open poly surface, right? And now this is an open poly surface. So we have those edges, just grab those two, go ahead, join those together, and now we should have a closed poly surface, which we do, and there's our cutout, right? So there you go, a nice little cutout. Now, like I said, this grouping, you know, most of the time they will go in there and not be cast with it. That way you can get up in there and polish all the inside and the top and bottom and sides very easily for that. But there, you know, it's totally up to you. So hopefully that this video helps you a little. And if it does, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching. Good designing.